Where the 6 meets the 9 gives you 69. That's almost the amount of days that we have. We're not even quite there yet in terms of this tournament because it's not that long. In fact, we have to send some teams home today who are going to get a vacation earlier than they thought they were. North Heroic, of course, going to be in contention for the first game of the day, and I do have Student and I do have Christine here to walk this one right home. So let's just start off the top and let's just start talking about this game from a big picture perspective. What are we expecting, Christine?
Oh man, I don't know. As we mentioned in the opening here, Heroic yesterday, they probably should have won that series. And my biggest question is how do they recover from that? It hasn't been quite 24 hours yet. This is a young squad. I mean, Stown, he's barely 18 years old. Borup as well. These guys are young and they have not been at the top for very long. And when you're losing a match like that and tweeting about how tilting it is, it's going to be pretty hard to recover from, but they've got to bunker down. They've got to realize that that was their match to win. And even that Astralis series on their opening match here at DreamHack Masters, they probably should have won that as well. So although they're in a sticky situation right now, it's absolutely recoverable. And it all starts here with this series versus North, which on paper, they should be a better team than.
Well, Blett, let's look at this, right? Let's sit here and think about this as more than just a game within the confines of DreamHack Masters Spring. But moreover, who is better within Daneland? What do you think?
Daneland.
You guys don't like that? Daneland?
I love it. The thing is, right now, I mean, it's obvious. Number one is Astralis, and then there's the rest of everyone else, right? Heroic are a team who should have been like, third, fourth place team in the region right now, considering, have Mad Lions as well. And also bear in mind that this particular lineup, they have been around for a month now with Nico Tessus coming in. But North, they're supposed to be number 2. And like Pim keeps saying, they were supposed to be the best team in Denmark like a few years ago. That's never worked on out. Now, unfortunately, with Christo stepping in and then the entire Kirby situation, they're going to be looking very, very shaky at the moment. So this match, I believe, is going to determine, as of the moment, who is potentially the number 2 team in Denmark right now. I know it's a Danish derby. I know it can get messy. But one thing we saw yesterday, Astralis, they got to stand in as well. So does North. Astralis don't care. They're still going to take a crap right all over you. And we saw that happen yesterday. And for North, they need to just wipe them off the face, cleanse themselves. And then they have to kind of reframe their minds. Because this matchup, This is it. This really matters.
Yes. Frame of Mike. I love that song. That's a great song. Shout out Shroud one time. Speaking of heroes, we have Heroic. We actually have the opportunity to hear what they have to say before we go into this matchup.
When we played against North last time in an online qualifier, we had a very good read on them, on Nuke especially. We always knew what they were gonna do in the next round and the next round. So I think we need to look back and see what we did well and how we were managed to read them so good.
He knows. Oh, without this, he can swing out. He's could be an easy trade. He's gone too far. He comes back for more.
MSL is known for his team play, and he always makes a team better when he is in it. And we know definitely that they're not gonna do some crazy things. They're gonna play like the percentages and play the rounds right after the book. So we expect that, and we also play like that. Rue
goes it again. Oh my God! How is this man alive? He's got some sort of aura to keep him standing. Katie and locks it with the 4K.
It's definitely gonna be like a team-based match with a lot of individual plays, I think. So yeah, I think it's gonna be quite easy in my head, at least.
Well, surely the folks over at the North Camp would disagree with what you've had to say. And of course, that would make sense, wouldn't it, Christine and Bled? What are we thinking about the North side of things when we flip the script?
North, they look shell-shocked. They look a little tired, they look a little pissed off, they look a little angry, and I guess I can feel the frustration. We saw MSL yesterday in his interview. He was just looking a little frustrated. He knows that he's got a tough task on his hands here. You have a new stand coming in, a kid who might have had a promising potential future ahead of him. This is still his, he's literally being thrown off the deep end. He's playing his first, proper international matchup against teams like Heroic, like Astralis, like G2. That's nothing to scoff at. And then you're fitting him into a role which he probably has never had time to really work with. He's only had a couple of days to prep for it. And it's got to be hard, right, working with that particular, with a new kid. You can't blame him either. And I can also feel MSL's frustration. They've been struggling as well, individually speaking. AZ has been a beast. He's been great. KajanB, not bad. MSL's been holding his own. Gade, he's kind of the weak point as well. When you have a stand-in coming in there, you need all the 4 veteran players to step on up. And right now, looking at that, it's not looking good. Their map pool's looking weak. This is a bleeding lion. And they're not, and they're kind of clawless as well, if you ask me.
And if you're wondering, I don't think gazelles even hunt the lions. I don't even think there's a world where that exists. But Christine, there is a world where North get not that many rounds against Astralis, and Christo outfrags AZ. What do you think about that?
You know, I think I have to disagree with Student here. I don't think AZ has been hitting on all cylinders. I think AZ's been a disappointment for quite some time, especially for me. Whenever I watch him, I just wonder what kind of value he's bringing to this North squad, because sure, he has those pop-off games, but consistently he's at the bottom of the scoreboard. And Christo, I mean, as the new guy on the block, it is very extremely difficult to make a presence, to make your presence known within that server if you're going to be slotting into KRB's role. KRB is a complete lurker, and even KRB struggles to bring this North team into the match when they're losing, because he's playing on the extremities of the map, right? And it's just hard to get involved within the rounds. So I think it makes sense that Christo is not at the top of the scoreboard as the new guy, as the lurker. The rest of these North guys, though, they've got to step up and they've got to polish up their game.
Yeah, and I would love to kick it to a video or something right now, but I would much more love the fact that Suden fires back. It would appear as though we have some disparity in the camp. I actually like it when the analysts disagree on the desk. It's not something that happens all the time. But how do you respond to the allegations that North look like crap?
Well, I mean, that I agree with. That I completely agree with. But the fact that you said AZ has, I mean, he's the highest rated player in the entire road to Rio. That was a lot of games being played at Christian. I don't think I've seen them in 2020. I agree with you that he has been very shaky in the past, absolutely. But once they lost KRB, once Jumpy came in, he really stepped up to the plate, and he was, I felt, in some of those games, difference maker in, you know, carrying North through some of those finish lines. MSL as well, like as an opper, no one really values him as an opper, and for obvious reasons. But as long as he does his job, you know, especially in the CD side, shut down certain angles, shut down certain sides, he's been doing his job there. Some big clutch moments. KajanB, little hit or miss. Sometimes he's really good, some great clutches coming out from him, but sometimes it drops off. Gade, he is a problem. So I agree with part of that. The team as a whole has disappointed, but I disagree that AZ hasn't been good off late. He has really been popping off.
So
and once again, my rebuttal to that, Sudan, is that
all right,
sure,
Potter, let's go.
AZ may have had one good event in 2020, one good week, but the rest of it is just like yesterday's match versus Astralis, where he barely breaks over 50 ADR, goes 16 and 37. And it's just, he doesn't bring the value within that server, man.
Again, well, you're taking only one game into account then. You are, by your own very definition, just basically screwing an entire theory over. Think about it. You can't base it off just to one game. Yes, they got completely stomped by Astralis because it is Astralis. They were just going ham mode. But in the first game, he was still performing. The first game they had, I do believe it was against Heroic. Yes, you know, it was a very close affair, but AZ was popping off there as well if you look at the stats. So, I win, Trace. Go on.
I don't necessarily know that you win, so to say. One thing that would be a big win condition is if we knew some maps here. Maybe we could give a little solace to both sides. But I do love the fact that you're both so passionate about giving your point, and I absolutely love that so much. Speaking of passion, the North have a little bit of that, but is it enough to translate to the server? Let's find out what they've got to say.
Last time we played Heroic and Nuke, it was kind of a disaster for us. They kept pushing us into uncomfortable situations, and we weren't really there individually. So a map like Nuke, that's just gonna cost you really expensive. When they start on CT side and you're not ready on T side, it can just be a slaughter, to be honest.
Stiko gives away his position, he sees a shadow, he hears the drop, he knows there's a repeat Karen going early. Ace doesn't even wait for his teammate. One by one, they're feeding the beast that is Stiko.
Right now we have just fixed or worked as much as we can on our T side and just fixed like the smallest details and just having a kind of a bigger playbook to every play and every reaction, kind of. It's hard to say who's like the better individuals on the team because it's all about hitting the day, to be honest. I think everyone is so good at this point, but I do think that we are stronger as a team right now, also because they just got a new player in and they have a lot of new things they have to practice for and just getting a lot of new structure in, even though we have a stand-in as well, so our game is not going to be perfect either. But I do think that we have more experience together, and I just think that I hope that we will get on top of this game, even though we didn't last time.
Yes, last time North did something amazing. Sweden, when was that? Christine, when was that?
2018 at DreamHack Stockholm. It was been more than 2 years, Grace. It's been a while.
And then, you know, like, I think even right after that, something happened. But anyway, we don't need to get necessarily into that, more so the vetoes. Now, we want to talk about silver linings, and there is no Bradley Cooper in sight. So I guess this movie's going to have to be told via our end. Let's talk about some of the map vetoes and what we're expecting to see today between these two teams.
Why did Heroic not ban Vertigo out? That's my question. That's I think that's them baiting North into picking it up and have something prepared for them.
Surely
that's my theory.
That's what you would think. But yesterday it was a struggle on that Vertigo, especially Tessa's towards that A ramp. They had a lot of good ideas though, a lot of good crossfires. They just didn't come into fruition. I mean, Tessa's died at A on Vertigo without shooting his gun 5+ rounds. So it's certainly something that they will have to have gone over.
That's actually impressive,
right?
Actually. Yeah, trigger discipline. My finger is my safety kind of thing. No, but in all reality, we now have our maps. We have the things that we need, trained, Vertigo, nuke, so we know what the maps are. Let's talk a little bit about the stuff in the server, because I feel like when we get down to predictions, you two are going to disagree, which I love. So perhaps we start to base this conversation off of what we're expecting to see on Vertigo. Sudin, you bring up a great point, but let's talk a little bit about it, Christine.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have to hit on the fact that Heroic, they obviously were very practiced on what the ideas of how they wanted to execute Vertigo was, but in the server itself, they weren't able to actually execute it. So I think with Hunden's addition, these guys are kind of overwhelmed with the amount of information that they have to actually execute. And today, they're going to have to polish that up because, as I mentioned, Testis, he died on multiple occasions without even shooting his gun. And although the crossfire idea was good, maybe Cadian, he was a little late for the help or something like this. Maybe I hope that they talked over it though.
I hope they do, but I'm sure they're going to be going for the pure anti-strat here, right? If you look at North's approach, they have struggled on the T side especially. I mean, AZ himself mentioned how the T side is looking very rough around the edges, and I'm expecting Heroic to kind of give North to taste their own medicine, especially on that map. And I like that they banned out Overpass. So for Heroic, they're not comfortable in Overpass. We don't know what they can do in Vertigo though, but they have banned out Overpass, meaning that Mirage obviously goes out of the table, and that it's Train getting picked. I think it was Train being picked by Heroic over there. That's a map they should be feeling very comfortable on. So map for map, I think this actually might favor Heroic. I think this could be a very quick 2-0. I know we're not asking for predictions right now, but if you look at the maps, right, Train, Heroic is definitely going to take it.
Yep, no? Is that what you want to do? Yeah. You want to do predictions?
I don't know.
Well, somebody's got to be confident in what they're saying right here. Christine, do you want to do predictions?
I want to do predictions, Trey.
That's what I like to hear right there. Christine wants to do predictions. We're doing the damn predictions, and we're going to do it right now. Bled, you get the opportunity to start us.
All right, I'm going to use my magic spoon to help me figure this one out. This is tricky. This is hard, all right? Because North... Look, they have the players. They have a stand-in, and we saw two different Norths compared to day 1 and day 2. They had the game against G2, where they managed to clutch it out, some clutch moments coming in, a lot of mental strength to grind back and win that game. And then they kind of completely got crapped on by Astralis yesterday. So which North are we going to see? That's a question here. And for Heroic, I think the fundamentals are good. I think they have a better map pool, in fact. And the fact that it allowed Vertigo through kind of makes me feel like they kind of laid up the trap here for North. So... even though I want to say North, I'm going to have to go with Heroic. The math just goes their way.
Christine, please make this man suffer.
I can't make this man suffer because I'm going to agree with Sudan on all of his points actually here is that, yeah, sure, I'm bagging on North, but that's just because, as we mentioned for the past 2 years, they should have been number 2 in Denmark for quite some time, and they just haven't lived up to their name is the only reason why I bag on them. But they're still a quality team. They still have quality ideas. Sometimes the executes fall a little short, but this time around I'm going with Heroic. I just think Heroic are a lot more hungry, they're a lot more fresh, they're just a lot better in my eyes as a squad, as a unit. So I think Heroic, they're going to turn things around here starting today.
So let me get this straight. You guys just argued, and then you went for the same predictions. You know what?
That's Sudan. That's all.
No.
No. I'm gonna let you guys finish. But first of all, I'm also gonna have to throw out there that Heroic are about to beat North up and down the server. Crystal is not gonna be the lowest fragger, and that's just the way it's gonna be. I can't even forecast this any more than that. What we have to do though is go to a break. We jump straight back into the game with Harry and Hugo, Byron and Brighton Beach, and we're gonna be doing that right after this.
Welcome back to DreamHack Masters Spring 2020. It's me, Hugo, with Harry, and we're bringing you the first couple of games of the day. We got a Danish derby, a Danish dynamite, if you were Trace here, to open things up. Harry, North Heroic, this is a sick matchup. This whole group has been exciting. It's been topsy-turvy. What do you make of this game?
Man, I think this is a sick game because we get to see like who is that number 2 spot in Denmark, right? Like, and Heroic, I think they've been looking really good as of late. The analysts both picking in favor of the Heroic squad. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Sorry. And yeah, I think North, obviously, right, playing this with a standard, the fact that you've got Christo here is obviously a big talking point as well. I think it would be sick if North are able to pick this up just to solidify themselves as number 2 in Denmark. If they're able to do it with a stand-in, that's even better. But Hugo, we're gonna have to wait and see. This pistol round about to begin, and it's Train, the map pick of Heroic. They're starting over on the T side to begin this one. North's going to set up over here with 3 players at the A site, but 2 of them in Pop Dog. They're going to be available for a very, very fast rotation if this B play does indeed come in.
By the looks of things, it seems like it will. Nico is coming in on that late Ivy lurk, or Stown rather, actually, with a P250. Bit of a raid boss in play. Heroic waiting to execute, but of course, if things are silent on Train, you're going to see standard CTs rotate to inner to watch for the execute, and that's exactly what's going on right now. North know nothing, and so they're going to gamble on that inside site. A grenade is ready for MSL to pop on the ramp, rather, but Stown is the key of this round right now. And Cage is watching from a passive position. If Stown jumps across or goes fast, he can get past this USP and get into the back line. That's the hope here for Heroic, but as Stown gets so deep, Heroic are going to consider other options. They go back towards a Pop Dog, looking to crowd this out of sight, but it's a double setup here for North. If Heroic drop, this could be problematic. They fake flash in, Christo drops, Testes finding that kill, but AZ doubles up with the USP before he is eventually overwhelmed. Cajun, now looking away from Ivy, is given away for Stown into the site, and he drops Gay coming from Connector. Excellent execute from Heroic. They have North looking exactly where they want, and now MSL is coming in for the Pop Dog on his own.
Yeah, lots to do here. They know exactly where he is. MSL trapped in Pop, Cadian and Borup and Stown all looking in his direction from inside of this bomb site. This is a very tricky round, and MSL gets taken down. I love any game that features Cadian versus MSL. I'm a big fan of that, right? When you think about the kind of history between these two guys and the effect that they've had on one another's careers.
And on the teams and the orgs that they play for. Right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously a lot of overlap there, especially in the North side of things. And I think that's, certainly what's so exciting, this North project, but underwhelming for many. And I think winning this BO3 would really solidify something for North, but that's going to be easier said than done with Heroics as a favorite right now. They've been looking very, very good here. Although I say Heroic have been looking very, very good. They're 0-2 in the group, Harry. The bottom of the group. It's just the way that their games have gone, right? Like an overtime in a 30-round versus Astralis, and a loss to G2 in the 3rd map in an overtime in a game they had. In a game, I mean, if you missed it, maybe keep it that way. Maybe you don't want to relive the madness that was the 3-on-0 for Heroic last night, but we'll move past it because Heroic, a new day, a new Dane, and Nico, he's boosted above the smoke on Ivy, catches a player on the A site. There's still Christo here, but he's only good for 1 with the Deagle. MP9 about as good as done, and Heroic will trade their way to a 2nd round on A.
Well, it's just the pistols now, Hugo, for North. So this is really where Heroic are going to look to go 3-0. They should be able to keep this round pretty clean. There's a little flashbang on Gade. What's he going to try and do with it? He's waiting in the connector, holding on to that flash to pop into the A-bomb site, maybe to give these pistols a bit of room to work with. However, that bomb doesn't look like it's coming their way. Stown is, though, and he could be a bit of a vulnerability here, all the way up through Ivy alone. What's a lone T player doing on this side of town all alone? This is not where he wants to be. North here, they're going to land the initial dink, and that there is Stown now, looking like a real tantalizing little dish if you're North. Tessez and co, they've already secured the B site, so a plant should come in here absolutely no problem. With it, the round should be pretty much guaranteed. It's just about how expensive now can North make this.
Yeah, Stown's actually playing it extremely safe. Even, you could say too safe, but there's no such thing as too safe in this case because it's an anti-eco that Heroic will win. They've already planted. Stown is saving in the spawn, and he's going to get a kill if he does this. MSL comes his way. Tessez just missing the timing on the ladder. Will get dinked from behind. Cajun dropping one of these Mac 10s, but there are many more Heroic players lurking around, even coming down Ivy. Down in the spawn, double kill presented, and he takes 1.5. Cadian picks up that player on Ivy, and Stown will close the round. Heroic 4 alive, 3 on the board, and the bonus round goes successfully. So, or anti-eco at least, now is the bonus round as North decide to buy up with the AWP on MSL. Heroic, they are going to keep this SMG. They are going to keep on a bonus round, and we could see a faster approach as a result.
Well, Tessez going to try and come in with an early peek out from main, and he runs straight down into Olaf, faster than Cajun B was ready for. So he's already out. He's already in this Olaf position, and he blindsides a man as a result. Christo removed. Cajun still looking down here with this secondary AWP, but not able to find anything. Both of these AWPs, by the way, at this A side of the map, both on Ivy side. AZ gets Molotov down in the pop dog, and that's him in for a world of hurt. He's able to stay alive thanks to his smoke grenade, but he is getting whittled down over here in pop. Very, very low now is AZ, and that's him conceding the pop dog. He's going to back on out. In amongst all of this, Heroic, they've slowed it down. They pumped the brakes. They've gotten Stown into position deep here in Ivy. They forced a man out from Pop Dog. They've thrown some utility over towards the B-bomb site, and that's prompted a rotation around from AZ. So that's actually going to leave this A site with just MSL and Cajun B on it. That's both of these AWPs. The double AWP setup left to hold on to A. Ooh. And MSL edging his way out into Ivy, wasn't ready for Stown close. I love the idea of having Stown just sit here and just wait all round with no hints that he's in Ivy. No one ever saw him. You know that you've removed the man at the A site, so a few areas are going to be, you know, a little less controlled by the North side, and they just wait for the kill to come to them. Now they sit in a 5-on-3. This is already feeling like a save from North. Cajun's just trying to get out of here without dying, and yeah, this should be a 4th on the board for Heroic.
Yeah, very safe stuff there, and you can see that North want nothing to do with it. Cajun could have even, you know, stopped the bomb or taken kills on the site, but he realizes the best option is just to fall off because Heroic are 5-on-3 and silently fake planting at the A-bomb site. Just really making sure everything is covered and that North can't stop them. That is the case, and now a 4-0 lead on the T side of train. Heroic feeling good. I'd like to remind everyone as well, we've had this matchup before. Obviously not with this exact, you know, same 10 players. I think, you know, with the same 7 out of 10 players. Of course, with Yerby over Christo and Heroic with Snappy and S-Tag. So S-Tag now in Astralis, Snappy potentially going to Mongolia. So an interesting one there. Or maybe to China to play with Tiger. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, when we had this matchup, Train was a part of that series. A series that Heroic won back at Leipzig, DreamHack Open. And Heroic 16-2 North on this very map. So keep that in mind. Heroic have had dominant victories on Train in the past. And that's something North need to be a little bit worried about, even though they are competitive on other maps. So this is not where North wanted to start. It's a map that they only have 2 games logged. But hopefully they can, you know, use that loss positively. Try and pick up something from it. Try and learn from their mistakes and come back against Heroic today. But right now, things aren't looking too pretty. Heroic with a bit of a B execute. They are going into 2, though. This is a good setup for North. Gade and Christo inside of the site. Stown late lurking Ivy. He's thrown utility. He's come back to his team. And now here comes the B play.
Yeah, AZ's gotten into a position though, and it looks like he's going to try and head up Pop quickly for this rotation. And so he might be able to come in fast and offer some kind of resistance, but there's already players holding it down. Christo was still alive in the site, but he actually falls almost immediately. And now this wrap, this entire round pretty much falls into the hands of AZ. He is able to come in and deal with one, but Stown is wrapping the rapper, and AZ actually able to readjust in time. So into a 3-on-3, this was a round where initially it looked like North were considering the save, right? MSL and Cajun, they both backed away, and now they're interested. AZ's made them consider this as a doable round. And he's still continuing this wrap in through the heavens. Cadian putting up one. AZ in with the response, but he gets traded. It's down to the 1v1, and actually AZ on for the ace. Borup up against him, and AZ going to go ahead and drop a smoke, sticking the defuse now. Borup has to come in with the peek, and he denies it with a second to spare. It's Borup with 3. And a 5th round on the board for Heroic. Borup going full on Bames John here. It's 7-0-0.
I mean, AZ plays that to perfection, right? Not only you know all the kills on the site, but the way that he opens up the round, the way he gives away his presence, he's so patient. He could have killed Heroic multiple times as they ran back up and forth between the ramp, but he waits until he hears them leaving and then comes in with a backstab. Safe play for AZ, puts North in, well, I was gonna say on the board, in a position where they should have been on the board, but now they're broke because Borup did close that round in the post plant. MSL might have it all. That is a big pickup as well. Nice shot from MSL, follows up onto Testes. The pistols are out and about in the yard and they're providing value for North, but it's all down to Gade. 0-4, yet to frag, spots the first out onto the site, but he's going to miss his opening shot and Heroic won't give you a second chance. 6 rounds, flawless for Heroic. This is not the competition that North wanted to bring today. And even though it is early days, it's quite the one-sided affair. 6-0 for Heroic, a double up for North. Maybe this will provide some results.
Man, this is already such a good start from Heroic, and you know this is a matchup that means a lot to them. And boy, they're giving it their all right now. AZ's had some great rounds, but still yet to see the rest of the squad kind of fall into place around him. And that's remaining to be our worry in this round. MSL and Gade, they'll both open up with a killer piece, and MSL actually continues that little reign of terror a little bit longer. So finally, North looking good to put their first round on the board as it falls to Stown and Cadian in this one. 2-on-5. And this is a pretty tall order. Stown holding, waiting for this aggression, and Christo holding close to main. Maybe he gives this one over. Maybe he gives something up here. Stown gonna peek wide, and he does best Christo. So a 2-on-4 now. Still a very tricky round for Heroic to navigate, especially when you look at how little utility they have to really make anything happen here. They're very split up. Cadian's over towards the B-bomb site. Stown over here in main. Neither player really budging all too much. Might just be a either a late play in towards this A-bomb site, like a very late play, or this is going to be the save. And just sitting and waiting for now. Stown's going to get out. There's a molly here to help him. I think this is a save, but they're they're still trying to go for it, but
that's such a 6-0 round for Heroic, man. Look at how safe Heroic have been playing on this T side. Think about every round they've won. It's been like grouping with 4 towards inner and Stown on the Ivy lurk. And then Heroic, they feel out the round, they play a very slow approach. They go, okay, we either execute B with Stown lurking or we come back through Pop Dog and we hit A. That's how pretty much every round, one of these rounds have gone for Heroic on the rifles. And as soon as they get 6-0, they get overconfident and they start taking solo peaks without utility, without teammates. 2 players die upper to the AWP. 1 more walks down the ramp and blink, you miss it. Heroic have given away 3 kills kills to North with no trades available. They do try and trade the first kill, but it's just too late, and they just dig themselves a deeper hole, and that's you getting confident as 6-0. But you have to remember the level that you're playing at. North aren't going to let you get away with these little mistakes, these little plays. You have to play as a team if you're heroic, if you want to get these rounds. As soon as you start to loosen up, that's when North can certainly be given a way back into this matchup. So heroic, they need to keep playing like a unit, and you can already see that they realize that too, going back to the same default that got them here in the first place. Down on the Ivy Lurk, throw some utility. The rest of Heroic group up and upper B. They have lost a man early. Cadian tried to join Stown, and Nico gets dropped in the pop. That's certainly not what Heroic wanted. This one's a bit of a different one, but it is to the same result, at least for North. 2 kills early on, and no need to play aggressive, no need to risk giving away a trade back for Heroic. They're going to try and retake the pop dog. AZ is still here, though, and he has been a nuisance.
Yeah, Izzy is like the one guy you don't want to be facing anytime soon if you're heroic. They're going to try and flash him out of pop, and they do at least get the trade. But it's another 2-on-4 for heroic. They didn't even attempt this last time around. This time they're at least grouped up. They are together, and there's a little bit more riding on it. There's a tag there onto MSL, and that's going to allow Testes to pick up the trade.
Wow.
Oh, and he follows up. A second kill at the B site, and now maybe a doable round. Testes on for the ace, and he's going to need it if they want to get this one on the board. But a quick peek in from Cajun gives him no time to set up for the post plant. Defuse comes on through, and so North chaining together 2 in a row. These double orbs, seemingly always good for something in these rounds, right? This time it's going to be 3 kills provided on the back of them.
Pop Dog's certainly been a problem for Heroic in this game. One of the few problems they've really had in trying to not only take control, but think about the round that AC flanked up it and got 4 kills. Didn't quite close it for North, but situations like that are things Heroic need to stay on top of. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Ivy. Did get denied for the first time in the last round with an orb shot going the way of MSL. So North have got answers. They've got results, and they've got a couple of rounds on the board. So things are looking good. Heroic, last legs in terms of the economy. They got a bit of money left up in the hands of Cadian, but by and large, they are getting drawn to a close. Need to get back on this T-side board if they want to continue these investments, or at bare minimum, a bomb plant. Probably fill the void. What do we got here from North then? Double AWP continues. Why would it not? It's been providing, a decent amount of success here for North, rather. Cadian taking his as well. It's going to go back towards Ivy, this time with Stown again, looking for this pick that didn't really get provided last round. He's going to have to drop off of B early, throwing a smoke down on the ramp. He is a solo inner player for a change. We've had a lot of double inners for North, but now they are stacked on that A site. Not for long, though. MSL's going to move this orb in tandem. AZ's pushed again below the pop, and he gets the same kill on the same player. Great work from AZ. Nico's removed from the round nice and early. The drop is good, though. And again, Tessa's trades. Heroic find a 4-on-4. This is a far better situation to be in now. Christo going to try and fill the gap. But even then, Heroic, they don't have to rush this one. They can take their time.
Ooh, Christo. Baited in for a peek, but no one going to find anything. They at least know there's another man here in Pop Dog taking up the position of AZ. There's a bit of an exchange here between Cadian, MSL, and Borum. But ultimately, it's going to be kept in the advantage of North, and that's thanks to Gade pushing the extremities outside of B. Stown has gotten deep in through Ivy, and this is a little bit deeper than I think North are prepared for. Cajun B is currently looking back Ivy side. I don't think he's going to consider him out of back green, but as I say, Cajun flicking over does deal with Stown, leaving it all onto Cadian. Wrap round into CT from Gade. Yeah, that just blindsides him. He's not ready for it. So North, it took them a while. It took them 6 rounds before they found anything, but now seemingly finding everything on the back of it. They're 3-6, grinding their way back into this game. They've finally broken the money of Heroic, or at least put them in like a bit of a weird spot. It wouldn't surprise me if we still had a buy in this round from Heroic, but it's one that you could definitely stop and consider. They're going to go for it. It's only Tesses who's limited, but I imagine even then he can get himself something. And Cadian's even going to have the AWP in hand. So, yeah, it's a good buy. but it could be an actual goodbye to the money here on Heroic if this round doesn't go their way.
Yeah, they've called a pause though, just to make sure they know what they're doing in this round. That's 2 used so far in this T side for Heroic. So what have they got in store? What have they got up their sleeve? The AWP, the Deeg, and rifles around it. Heroic send their sights towards B early on with a few players. Again, that solo inner play for North. Nothing's changed here. AZ, though, that is a change. He's dead in the pop dog. Borup takes the spawn and fires a bullet right to the face of AZ. He does get smoked, but with a flashbang follows up, and he could get a player on the site. He's got so much info. He spots all 3 A players and kills one of them as well. Now the hounds have been unleashed. Heroic are all over the site. They're looking to chase down these CTs, but MSL is still here and kicking. 2 kills, both headshots with the AWP. Ridiculous stuff. He even hit the wallbang collat on that first player. Tess is going to try and move forward. He's got MSL pinned at the back. MSL doesn't know, and Gade, oh, his back's been spotted. That might bait Tesses into his death here, but he swings and he succeeds. 2 kills from Tesses. Cajun in the clutch, and he might just go for the save.
He's still creeping forward. He still looks curious, but time is his enemy right now, as well as his enemies. He's got lots of them. Cajun, nice shot there onto Tesses. Left in the 1v1 with Cadian, and surely there's just no time. He's going to drop a smoke on the bomb. Tries to bait Cadian in for a peek that he hopes might have him go down with the bomb, and it just doesn't happen that way. Cadian comes in from Ivy, takes down Cajun. The AWP save is denied, and it's the 7th on the board for Heroic. Now, we were talking about this maybe being breaking point for Heroic, Hugo, but now it's North that find themselves in that spot. It's them with no money, and it was at a point in time where they could have broken that of Heroic. So this is a pretty horrific outcome for the North side. It went from looking so good to so bad in just 1 round.
Luckily, they have a bit of money left, right? Cajun even buys a rifle in this round. So, you know, North can buy in the next rifle round, but when will that be coming? Cajun is pushing, and he's already been cornered at Ivy. I don't think Stown realized that the cross has come through, but now he's considering it. Solo is Cajun, swinging on another peak, and Stown's been tagged. He's going to have to smoke himself off. North are fine with that. It's a stalemate. They let them go. They will escape because they know Heroic are going to be hitting somewhere else fast, and that is the case. B has been unearthed by these Ts. The bomb getting planted. North are so far away from having any say in this round. Christo has taken the gun off of Cajun, but with no armor, it might be wise to save. We'll see. Stown getting overwhelmed in spawn, looking everywhere but at his opponents, and the MAC-10 start to farm the armorless players. That's exactly what Heroic wanted in this round, and there might be more where that came from. Christo in the corner. Goodbye. Nico's got that, and a free gun dropped as well. Looking like an 8th round for Heroic's T side. MSL saving a gun, but that's all they get away with. And the armor on Cajun. So, you know, swings and roundabouts, it's okay, but it is still an 8-round T side for Heroic, and that is, if you aren't aware, very, very good on the map of Train. Heroic are going to be more than happy with this scoreline for him. That grenade should kill Cajun, and it will. Excellent work. That's insulting.
One thing I will say that I absolutely love about North is that the kind of like insight they're willing to give us into their facility is great, man. They got cameras set up so we can see the players. Their interview zone looks sick. I do think that, you know, with everything kind of having to move online, it's been a great time for orgs to show exactly what they can bring to the table, to kind of spice things up for folks at home. It's been great. North have really answered the call there. So shout out those guys. Whoever's making the decisions, doing a pretty good job, I think it's fair to say.
You're not wrong there, Harry. I always appreciate the interviews and the content we get from the players as well. Get a bit more insight. This one, though, it's a fast B play. Heroic don't realize Gade is in the site, and he's here to stay. 2 kills off of the spray. Cadian turns around to the smoke and does drop the pop flank. This time, Heroic expecting it. It's been a long time since he's in a hit, and Nico is in a powerful position. He's dropped MSL with the AWP, and he's ready for another. Nico on a double, eventually put down by Gade at the back of the site on his 3rd. Low HP, though, relying on Christo on a late flank that Heroic are probably not prepared for. Cadian with a flick. He was just throwing a smoke towards a connector, and he 180s for that kill, leaving Gade alone in a clutch. At this point, Cadian is already out of the site. He is already running A, or faking it rather, and Gade is here. Heroic don't know it. He's walking with his back turned into his enemies, and he will get the kill, but now Gade rotates outer, and Cadian, committing back to B, has to go A, but that's exactly where Gade is going. This is such a mess. This is such a mockery of a round. Cadian will get the bomb plant in. Gade on 10. Where does he go?
Cade's got to ace this if he wants to pick it up. And this is where Cadian being on the AWP maybe isn't ideal for Heroic. He's able to take a nice long angle, but Gade is dead in one shot to whatever. And that's why Cadian using his little pea shooter over here in main. Let's see what he's able to do with it. Gade needs the ace in what was a 1v2 now, if he wants to pick this round up. Molly down, and that's going to force Cadian back, but he actually gets up on top of the train, swings on out, fires off a shot. Gade now knows, but so much time is ticked off of this bomb. The Gade cannot win the round, no matter how hard he tries.
Oh dear.
Cadian's not going to find him running away, so Gade is going to live to fight another day. But it's still a round for Heroic in spite of Gade's best effort.
Yeah.
4 kills in the round, and it's not enough.
That's the second time we've had that for North, right? Like the individuals just aren't enough, apparently. AZ gets 4 on B, he loses the 1-on-1. Gade gets 4 on B, he loses the 1-on-1. Like, you know, something that was said on the desk coming into this game was the fact that, you know, if you have a stand-in like North do, you need everyone to be performing. You need all 4 of your old guard to be a tip-top shape, because this is what happens if not. Christo is 1 in 10, and Heroic are just rolling over North with no issue. Not that North, like, individually aren't even showing up, right? We're seeing these sick rounds, but, you know, that's the only positive signs, right? When a player goes and gets 4 kills, and in both times that's happened, North haven't closed the round. We need everyone stepping up. We need everyone having kills and impact into these rounds here from Heroic. And boy, are they putting some on the board. 9-3 on this T side with no signs of slowing down.
Yeah, this is the thing, right? For Heroic, these games where everyone's very, very tight within the scoreboard is very, very common. And I like that. You know, I think that's a good look from Heroic, because it just shows that everyone's kind of putting an equal weighting. You know, you can trust any player in kind of any situation is how it's feeling. And, you know, like you look at the kill distribution, well, it's +2 from the bottom to the top, whereas over on North, it's a difference of 10. So, yeah, you know, a real emphasis on individuals. I say 10, it's now 9, thanks to Christo getting his second kill in this round.
Harry. Whoa, you're giving us misleading information, false facts.
But, you know, I think Christo, it does make sense that he's going to be the kind of bottom fragger within this squad. Obviously, having to adjust, having to pick up some of the Kirby spots, and not to mention, I do think Train is probably one of the harder maps to just slot a man into.
Especially on the CT side with all the moving parts, all the constant adjusting, and, you know, are we playing for Ivy? Are we double pop? How many B? The need that you feel at times to take control, but the risk that comes with it. North not wanting to give away kills. MSL armorless and close towards main. He smoked off one side, but Molly's landed a sandwich and pushed him out into the open. Luckily, not punished for it. Heroic spam does just elude MSL's position, and he can go back into it after the Molly is faded. Cajun kills down, coming through the Ivy smoke, and now a 3-on-3 here as North sit inside of A. Cajun moving very aggressively, and Testas is not ready for such a pushed-up player. These close positions for North are providing kills and leaving Cadian alone in a clutch, a 1-on-3 with no time to do it. They're going to push him down as well. Cadian, oh, he's missed a shot, and with a jiggle, you can't afford to miss those. Otherwise, North are going to overwhelm you and get a free AWP. Now there's 2 of them. And we know what these AWPs have done for North. They actually put those initial 3 rounds on the board in this CT side. So finding a 4th, getting it done with some aggressive setups. That's a nice round for North. Heroic have finally broken. It's happened, Harry. They said it couldn't be done.
Yeah, and it really felt like it couldn't for the longest time, right? That very early 6-0 lead did some wonderful things to the Heroic bank account, but finally we see them bottomed out, and it will just be pistols now into round number 14 with the goal of buying into the last of the half. That's pretty much locked in. Christo besting Testas early on. And now the B plate for the rest of Heroic. AZ, he's about to do something a little bit gross, so let's keep our eye on him. That's the bomb drop there, so even as they get the site, this is pretty heartbreaking for Heroic. If you ever wanted to watch some Danes just looking very upset, this is the round, because you get into B, you get the kills, but you lose the bomb as you execute in, and all you were really hoping for in that round there was a bomb plant. So yeah, not ideal. But a 5th on the board for North. They're starting to stumble back to their feet. And it does, you know, it does kind of feel like if they like 6-9 this half, I think that's still recoverable. I feel like T side, you know, you've got a bit more room. I think that you can kind of better utilize someone like Christo moving into the T half, right? If needed, you can just have him on a lurk, playing over on his own. I think that's maybe where he could be the most comfortable.
Look at how much of a difference that $800 bomb money would have made for Heroic, right? We got players with no util, we got no AWP in the last round of the half, and MSL, he is looking to take these players away. He's done that in a big way. 2 kills off of 1 shot. MSL posts back up and he just waits, because Heroic, this round's done. It's looking like a 6-9 end of half, and MSL will make it so. He will put the nails in the coffin one by one. Just 1 left. It's Nico out towards B. Looking to come down the ramp. Gade is still here. Nico has his knife out. Luckily, smoke will give away the fact that Gade is not left, and Nico hits the best timing possible. It's still not going to be enough to win this round, but he might be able to grab himself 1 kill with it. Even then, missing Gade as he falls back towards Khan. Nico sprays, does get the kill, but yeah, I mean, now the alarm bell has been rung. North can set up for this exact contingency, and they've got the bomb as well. So it's looking like 6, Harry. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, the bad news bear, as I think they're known. And in this round, Nico does get dropped. It's the end of the half with North recovering 6 rounds at the very end in the battle for Denmark, I think is what we could call this. Maybe not. Maybe we do. You're going to have to join us after a quick break as this second half will continue.
When I'm out the door, what can I do to change your mind? You know I'll always be away. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You got to know it's alright. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You got to know it's alright. When I get home early, you never have a word to say, so I have to break this down. You say that I'm a fool now, and you're never gonna leave me. You sound just like your mother. At least we're talking to each other. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You got to know it's alright. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You got to know it's alright. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You got to know it's alright. Don't give it up, don't let it go. You've got to know it's alright. Na na na, na na na. Coming in the rhythm, alright. Gonna get you dancing all night. Oh oh oh, I got it good, I can't stop. Oh no. Come on.
Well, that first half really heated up. MSL did put his spin on it at the end of things, finding 6 for North on the CT side. It doesn't feel like enough, but a pistol round could certainly solidify things as North looked to take it here with a lot of utility in this second half. Heroic no kit for the retake, but they do have Borup on a smoke. He's dropped a CZ for Cadian, so a bit of a raid boss situation here for Heroic, and they're going to be bringing the heat towards B. Cadian loses his life. There's a quick trade from Nico in upper, and he is here to stay. 2 kills, 3 from Nico, all headshots, and he can just fall back into the B bomb site with no worry. Tess's has pushed pop. Christo can't go anywhere. Harry, you thought the bad times would be over after the first half for Christo? Well, they have just begun.
Yeah, now it all falls onto Cajun B, and well, there we go. That's pretty much it, isn't it? We kind of nailed that one. Stown able to secure it, and a pistol round found for Heroic, as though they needed anything else going their way. Look at this from Nico as well.
So clean.
Absolutely shuts it down. AZ Gade and MSL. They run round, they try and get the better of him, but not today. Nico leading the charge here for Heroic and continuing to look good.
And boy, does Tessa set a precedent in round 1 of this half that he's going to be a real pop dog pusher all game long, right? Coming up the pop in the pistol, getting in the back line and dropping the bomb like that. I mean, we're going to see a fair few attempts of that from Heroic, I can imagine. Maybe even in this round, because North full Glocks towards B, Borup in the pop with an SMG, and a double inner setup. Heroic are at least poised for this. They've cleared Ivy. Cadian pushed all the way down and saw T-Sports. They know this is coming, and Nico's going to have no problem spraying it down. 4 kills delivered on a platter. It's Heroic up to 11. North do have that buy, though. That's what we've been waiting for. Get it done, out of the way, no bomb plant. No worry. North have at least enough to get a full buy in.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it though. It's not going to have the AWP on MSL. But luckily enough, Heroic don't have one of their own. And so it's a bit of an attempt at a bonus round here from Heroic. They only have one man over here towards B, but that man is Nico, and he's been hitting with the force of, you know, 3 or 4 men over here, so I think that's fair enough right now. He's going to be entrusted with the entirety of this B bomb site. And I think quite critically to note, he's actually playing the connector. So Heroic is set up to kind of play retake over here towards B. Nico's going to recommit back into the site, and that is because they've freed up Stown. They were kind of trying to set up Borup and Tessez quite deep over here at the A site. So Stown was there early to offer up utility. Now he comes back, he rejoins Nico at B. They're going to retake this site and actually have a bit more presence in it now that they've set up the A side hold. And it's a good thing they set up this A bomb site, because that is looking like where this play is going to come through for North. Cadian dropping that smoke, but the problem is smokes actually, don't know if you know this, aren't walls, and they've walked right through it. Cadian is not going to be ready. Ooh, I like this from North. They realize, all right, we've hit a bit of a sneaky timing here, and so we're out through Ivy. No one's keeping an eye on it. No one's watching it. No one's even considering that this could be a possibility. Finally, Cadian's going to turn back around, but it's too late. MSL is already deep. MSL is already out. Tessez has done a great job of dodging these players in the back line. He's able to put up 2, and he's able to keep Heroic in this round, but it's still going to be a very tricky... What? Whoa, no, that's not how that was meant to happen. That's not how that was meant to go down. A bomb plant coming in for North. Not quite denied in time by Nico, but he's done a lot in terms of the damage. Cajun is pincered. 1 behind, 1 in front. Cajun B, almost. He lands a tag with the flick. Almost the 180, but not quite. Nico now reaching a 2-0 KD on the back of this retake. He puts up 2. And that means out of the 15 kills possible in these last 3 rounds, 9 of them have come from Nico, which is pretty incredible.
What a beast. I mean, yeah, that whole round is wild, right? Just the fact that MSL hits the timing, looking at the pop dog play, Borup smokes himself off, which is a really good call, and then he walks through it. What? MSL's holding. He should be dead. MSL runs out of ammo, switches weapon, dies. Borup gets traded, but he's got the crucial kill in that round that really puts Heroic in the 2-on-2 that they can close. Nico with a double, and boy, oh boy, Heroic just aren't stopping here. 6-12. 3 in a row in this CT side for Heroic. The pistol, the conversion, and the first rifle round. North go right back in for another. They've got all the guns here. Have they got the result? Because right now they're running out of rounds. They're running out of opportunities to close this this map, or even really get into the swing of things, because Heroic haven't even afforded them double digits. Tessez is looking very good this game as well. He's had some important kills, gets a big double in there as North hit the A site. Like, if Tessez doesn't kill both of those players, that round's probably North's anyway. So, you know, all comes down to that as well. Heroic, they've got the orb. North don't have that luxury. No bomb plant money, and so MSL is just armed with his rifle. Cadian taking his on the A bomb site, looking for picks early on. Stown, he was Ivy lurking most of the T side. He's going to be defending it on the CT half as well, smoking it off. letting Cadian move into position, but not like he's going to have much of a say when the smoke is down. He can just hold for the boost and wait for the fade. Oh, this is cheeky. This is sneaky.
Yeah, this is gross. And if you're Christo, you know, you played Ivy a bunch, but you were not ready for that kind of play. Stown just decides, yeah, I'm kind of overweighting around. I almost wonder if it's because he heard like the pin get pulled on the nade and then just tries to jump peek in on the back of it. But even then, I'm being optimistic. It just felt like he was pretty keen to take that fight. Now this only leaves North with 3 players surviving. They're going to tiptoe their way into the B bomb site. However, you can tread as lightly as you want. There's still 2 players here. Borup only good for 1. And actually, North, they do get into the B bomb site. They're a man down, this Molly. AZ somehow wasn't getting tagged by it. He actually stays alive, and, well, only briefly before he's picked up. Cajun now, all alone, 1v3. All 3 of these players coming in from con side, and Cajun does break apart one of these players. He's able to isolate that fight there. Still Cadian and Testa's yet to find, and that Molotov is going to hold him back. Oh dear, he's trying to make the run up to upper, but yeah, he doesn't win this, sadly. They've already got the defuse. 13 on the board for Heroic. Cajun not able to see it through in the 1v3, does at least stay alive, and you know, with the bomb already planted, he's going to get money from that round. He can now help redistribute the cash in this team.
It almost felt like Cajun didn't know he had a molly there. Like, you know, no smoke available for Heroic. Not that he knows that. Maybe he's trying to, you know, get a kill ramp and then go back to the molly for the one-on-one, but, you know, getting cut off by the util and then not getting to be able to use his get out of jail free card. That's a bit of a shame. Heroic, though, another rifle round to deal with on the other side, and a flash down Ivy to take control. Stown pushes through a Molotov. You won't see a thing. Gaze out and about. Cadian doesn't know. It's a free kill for Gaze. He's just going to smoke off Stown in the Ivy position as well. Wants nothing to do with it. Tessus and Borup in the outer sight. Good for 1 apiece. Tessus is still standing, though. He hasn't been dealt with inside of the pop dog, and smoking himself out to be a bit of a problem. Stown is hiding hell side as well. Nico's coming on that low B rotation. It's a long route back to Old Bomb, but now we have a pretty good triple setup for Heroic on this outer site. With Stown still inside, they don't know, and he's dropped the first. They know a man's main as well. Stan's got his number, and now it is just MSL giving away his position. Stown going above with a grenade. It will hit. MSL will too. He'll fight back, and the bomb getting played. 3 HP for MSL. No need to move. Wait for the tap. Stown's playing patient on top of the train, but he doesn't know where MSL's got to.
Yeah, MSL has disappeared, and now swinging out. Stown looking the wrong way. MSL with a stellar clutch to keep North in this one. Their first T-side round put up on the board here to give them a 7th, and it comes on the back of MSL answering the call, stepping up there in that clutch when they needed him the most. If that one didn't go in favor of North, I think this first map is over and done with. But now there's a chance they can get back into it. You can see the effect this has had. It's bought Heroic's money down into the ground. Cadian does have a Zeus in this round, so that's going to be exciting. Let's see what he's able to do with that. He's sat with it over here at the ramp. Cajun actually got dinked as well, trying to go down the pop dog. This is a little bit scary.
I love the Zeus though. I love it. You know, close towards ramp. You see like Rops play this with a Deagle, right? Because you can just 2-shot body spam with that gun. But Zeus, I mean, great at just getting a kill and grabbing a weapon unless you get traded, which is likely the result. Ivy push here for the pistols, and North will make quick work of it. You can see not even an issue for Christo and MSL combining for 2 apiece. Cadian's walked up a B, but he will find nothing but a deserted area. They're even holding him from here as well. If he goes any further, he's dead. Oh, I say that. Gage just left. So timing is everything, and Cadian's hit perfection. He's coming in on this T-Con flank. He might even be able to get a Zeus kill after all.
That's basically what we're playing for now. The Zeus kill. There's not really a chance that Cadian can save this round, and Gade is watching it. Oh dear, Cadian.
Is he gonna go
run
for it?
And now figure out a way to Zeus quickly. He's the dude. Oh, Gade is coming after him. Cadian, you got to be a little bit faster. Ooh, Cade has decided against it, and Cadian gets here just in time. Cadian, what are you doing, you little gremlin? You little gremlin. What's the game plan with this Zeus there, my friend? This isn't it. That's not the one. And he does get taken care of. North, 8 on the board. AZ even retrieves the Zeus, and as a sign of disrespect, just shatters a window with it.
AZ let him down as well, right? He didn't shoot his legs when he had the chance. He waited till Cadian thinks it's safe and committed. That's a good way of getting that kill if you're playing at the back of Pop and someone's playing on the ladder. North 8 to 13. They've been given a lifeline, an opportunity in this map. 2 rounds on the T side in a row, and they're only rounds to work with. Right now, Heroic can put a stop to it. They can find this, well, near map point. They can reset North. Stown is set up with the AWP over Cadian in this round towards Ivy. Cadian has a shotgun right next to him, but if Stown dies, Cadian can pick it up, and that's basically the game plan. Resmoke on Ivy keeps Christo contained. Tessa's in the Pop Dog. The North haven't put too much focus on this as of late. They're just playing very passive. They know that Heroic are keen to get aggressive and try these flanks, so North playing safe is going to come to an end eventually, but you can see now Heroic are starting to move. Now they're starting to gain control of this round. Tessus has pushed T-Con with the help of his teammates, smoked off, and North, they don't know this. They've left A, they've gone towards B, they've got Christo on an Ivy Lurk. This is very similar to how Heroic played their T-side with these B players and a solo Ivy player. Double upper setup for Heroic, though, could certainly catch North off guard.
Ooh, come on, Cadian. You weren't able to do anything with the Zeus, but this gun is like a full auto Zeus. So let's see what he's able to churn on up. MSLV Cadian, let's go. Who wins this one? And Cadian, let's bring it. 2 kills on the auto shotty. Christo out from Ivy does drop 1, and AZ dealt with up at B, but Cajun will trade, and it's back into this 2-on-2. They deal with Christo, and this leaves Cajun B in a 1v2. He was going to plant open, decides against it now, and I think that's because he loses Christo on this wrap round. So Cajun now just having to play for himself, having to play for the 1v2. They're both wrapping up close, but there's not the best spacing in the world on this. There's Down with the repeak, and Cajun swinging a little wide there. Actually gets dropped by the AWP. There was a world in which Cajun was able to isolate that first fight and then duck away. Yeah. But luckily enough for Stown, the peak was pretty wide, and so the defuse comes in.
It's like a 2-for-1, right? In the same vein, Stown doesn't want to be close enough that he gets mowed down, right? Yeah. And him being far enough away makes Cadian forget or not consider the fact that there's a trade potential, right? Not think about a second player there because, oh, I've not been traded, it's clear. No, it's not. You've been traded. It's not clear. That's it. Heroic, they get it done. 14-8, and now 2 away from taking us to Vertigo. That's, for me, at least the map I'm excited for in this series mostly. Train, we know that's a dominant one. We know it's a good one for Heroic. It's a map North don't play. Vertigo, that's a big one. That's one that Heroic, were able to take G2 the distance on, one that North have looked very, very good on, and I think where this series really does get competitive. If Heroic can take it over North, then damn. But let's wait and see, Harry. Let's not assume. Right now, this game's still live, and MSL is trying to make it happen. He's dropped Cadian with the AWP early on. Stown's got an AWP. North are going to group B again with the bomb. This is just like so default what both teams are falling back into. We haven't seen like one fast yard rush with E-Box and sandwich smokes and just a quick A push. And since, Heroic have had like anti-ecos in the early 10 rounds. So yeah, it's been a lot of late B plays with Ivy Lurks, and that's really what we've got here from North again with a man advantage. Why change things? Tessus can flank Pop. That's the only danger of this round, and in fact, it's getting better and better for North by the second because Nico's left B and come towards Ivy. It might just be a save for Heroic as they realize the error of their ways. North are about to plant.
Yeah, and double AWP in the retake as well, right? Never ideal. Maybe if they deal with Christo, like if you get a 4-on-4 and you don't lose a man, you deal with the lurk, maybe you go for it, but yeah, they're not budging, they're not attempting it. And now Christo's position becomes even more valuable if he's able to do a bit of damage, and then that's great because Heroic aren't even attempting this round. If you're unfortunate enough to be down there, you never even got a chance to play this round out. You were already surrendering essentially when that bomb plant came in, and then you get killed. You don't get a chance to play, you don't get a chance to save, and you don't carry that weapon into the next round. So 9 now on the board for North. These B plays working out. It wouldn't surprise me if we see North maybe stick one of these secondary orbs in the connector, playing rotate between either one of these sites, and then having like an anchor over towards B, maybe like put Nico inside of the site, right? Have some support available to him if needed. because it can feel a little bit bitter if you're playing double AWP at A, kind of like what North were doing in the first half with MSL and Cajun B. You know, either the AWPs never get a chance to see anyone if the A hit doesn't come in, and if the bomb does go down B, you're going to find it very, very hard to retake. So in this round, North try and pick up the pace. They try and go fast out A, and Gade actually gets double naded out of the round. A nice way for Heroic to find them at advantage. It was no risk to them. And now they sit in this 5-on-4.
To jump on your point about rotation, I would love to see Cadian be playing this rotate role in the connector. I've seen him do that in past teams, and it's nice to not only have your AWPer but your in-game leader play that like fast con rotate, because then they can you know, get a full spectrum, a full picture of what's going on both sides, and still have impact with this weapon. So yeah, Cadian's been very focused on Ivy this game, but if you were to go towards connector, that would free up a lot of room on this A site. Either way, there's value to both sides. So he's AWPing Ivy, and he should have a kill here. North are moving in late, unless they flash his position. Christo is dead, and Cadian doesn't know the bomb is following, but that may not be a problem, because it's still a 5-on-3. He can smoke it off, he can cut MSL out of the short term, and Heroic can just group up. And actually stacked in it here. And the bomb is Ivy. This is based off of nothing for Heroic but a gamble, and to do with the fact that North have shown no players on that A site. They've also killed an Ivy lurk in the form of Christo. He's always been there on these B plays for North. So for Heroic, it's screaming a B play, but in reality, it's anything but.
Yeah, this is a little bit scary now as a result. The one thing that might help out is Borup is still in pop, so he might be able to save Cadian when AZ tries to come in on this wrap. And now the rotations have come through. Cadian has heard these flashes. He knows that something's going down at Ivy. He doesn't have an idea on specifics, and well, Stown, actually a master of dealing with this play, gets into the site, drops both the Ivy players, and AZ never even gets a chance to wrap from main. Oh goodness, AZ, he goes down after time, and this should be a very hard one for North to recover now. AZ at least had a bit of extra cash lying around. It's not the end of the world that he goes down after time. But with 15 on the board for Heroic, this one starting to feel like it could be a done deal. North, can they salvage this? They need 6 in a row. It's not going to be easy thus far. They've not really managed to accomplish much here over on this T side, and now they need to accomplish more than ever. And a man down. This isn't. I'm not building up the best comeback story here for North.
I think you're building up the reality, Harry. Right? This is a map that I think if North are going to lose a map in the series, it would be this. They have a very good chance to win Vertigo. Of course, Heroic are going to be prepared on it, right? Like as Blair said, they let it slip in the veto. But you know, if North aren't feeling confident on Vertigo, then I have nothing else to say. You know, that's their map pick. That's where they should be finding success. Heroic right now are only 3 kills away from pushing us over the edge on their pick. And, well, that doesn't seem like it's going to be all too difficult. Tess says on Ivy. Crucial position here. That's where the bomb is coming from, and 2 players of North. He's gone above green. This is a good spot to play considering he's low. Can take a headshot angle. Gade, he's crept out. He's got a timing. He's got a gap, and no one's got any idea. Gade dropping the Ivy play. That opens up the play now for the bomb, but Cadian's shut it down. Trade is quick from AZ. Gade is still in the yard, but doesn't realize they're in main. He's considering it, but that is all it is, a consideration, and Bob has not given him the information that would mean Gade just hang around here forever. He's still just sitting sandwich side. The bomb's planted for him. No reason to move now, and AZ can start hunting for those other rotations, both through Con. AZ's hit the first, Bob gone, and gonna get Gade as well. It's just AZ in the site, 1-on-2 for the map. Heroic in a 2-on-1 retake. Great flash, and Stan gonna peek off the back of it. He's got the round, he's got the map. Heroic have got 16, and that is it, locked in. Vertigo around the corner on the horizon. North's picking the series, and one that they've certainly made a mainstay of their map pool. So I don't know where this is going now. I'm really excited. I think this series is just getting more and more, important as the maps go on.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of how it works, right? Yeah. And with Heroic picking up trade, I think it does set us up for an exciting series, though, Hugo. I'm not just taking the mic. Like Heroic are looking really good today, and I want a competitive Vertigo. I think they showed us a lot of promise on that map the other day. It's just they weren't able to edge it over the line. I do think that with how they were kind of structuring their Vertigo, with how they were playing, I noticed some similarities between them and North. So I am actually really excited to see how this Vertigo matchup stacks up. Speaking of that, you're gonna have to join us for it after a quick break. So stick around and don't go anywhere.